Hi, this is Sandy Zuniga, the founder of Colorado Springs Town Tidings. Be in the know on the go for all things Colorado Springs delivered right to your inbox. And I am here with the infamous Jenn Grubb from the Buzzy B. Hey Jen, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Well, I'm
Thanks
so
for having
excited.
me.
I'm so excited to have you here. So, um, there's a lot to unpack. There is a lot going on at the Buzzy Bee. So tell me a little bit about you first, who you are and how you got to the journey of the Buzzy Bee, and then kind of tell us about it.
It's funny. I wrote an article and it's called FBI Dreams to Parenting Memes. That kind of outlines my journey. I had started with the Denver Police Department was my goal to join the police department and then go on to FBI. But it's always funny how life always has different avenues for you to take. And Um, my daughter right now is stressing out over she doesn't know what she wants to be when she grows up, and it's like nobody does. And even if you do know, nobody ever goes where they wanted to go. I wanted to be FBI. My husband wanted to be FBI. Neither one of us are there. It's
Oh,
like
wow.
so. I did over a decade with Denver Police, and then my husband said we wanted to start having children, and since by default I have the uterus, I drew the short stick to retire, so to speak, and
Right.
start a family. And then while I was doing that, I was thinking long term, what do I want to do? I don't want to have two of us back in the police department. So I went back to school and got my degrees in teaching. So I thought I could go teach and be on their same schedule. And then I was teaching at some private schools and whatnot, and then it just got too hard with two kids and trying to work the same hours. So I was like, what else can I do? And I came across a company at the time that was called Hula Frog, which was a work from home. It was a kind of like a parenting resource. And then so I did that for 4 years and in the Castle Rock area when I lived there. And then um, I saw that Macaroni Kid had an opening for Colorado Springs, and that was like for me a dream. I wanted to do that, and then I joined Macaroni Kid, and then Macaroni Kid actually bought out Hula Frog,
Oh,
so they were no more, and so I did 3 years with Macaroni Kid, but um, found that I do better without a whole lot of rules and regulations, and I needed a little bit more freedom. There were a lot of things that I wanted to do with the community that were not allowed. I do a lot of things with homeschooling and with kids on the spectrum, and those types of things weren't allowed. So I just decided that maybe doing this on my own would be better. And I had thought about it for a long time, but then I thought, I don't know the first thing about building a website. I don't know the first thing about
okay.
sending out newsletters from scratch. And that was really my hangup. And so I ended up um, finding the right people, and they were like, you can do this, I will help you. And we started it. And it was one of those things where a lot of people don't know I was a teen mom. Um,
Oh,
my first daughter I had when I was 16. It was one of those where I wasn't really sure if we had actually officially uh, finished, but apparently he did. I didn't. so,
gotcha.
so I have proof. So if there had been a resource like this out there then, I
Oh,
think it would have made a huge difference. I mean, being 16 is already hard enough. Uh,
yes.
I didn't have a whole lot of support. I didn't know where to take her, what to do, things like that. I mean, I had the basics covered. I had support from that at that time was my mother-in-law. And but yeah, it would have been nice if there had been articles I could have read. I mean, we didn't have the internet back then either, I guess, so that's probably part of it. But
Right.
having a resource like this then could have been, life-changing for me.
Yeah, and they didn't have those articles usually in like Family Circle and Women's Day. They had, family stuff, but not for teen moms.
Right. Yep. So I ended up finding this great program and I doubled up on my classes and I actually graduated, two years early. And that foundation is still up and running. I still help with them. I mentor teen moms. In fact, the first teen mom I ever started mentoring, I think I was only 20. Her and I still chat, to this day. So, which is nice. She's got like 5 kids.
Oh
So,
my
but
goodness.
it's nice. And like, so coming up with the Buzzy Bee, it was more about instead of having limitations like with the other companies, I could only basically focus on till like 12 years old. I mean, I even have seniors on mine. I have a whole list of coupons and discounts for 55 and older. I want it to be just your whole life journey, not just, parenting with kids. It's like I want, I have doulas in breastfeeding and, all the way up through postpartum pregnancy, all the way through, the elderly stages, which is, I want it to be a whole lifelong thing, not just, oh, I'm here for, 3 years and then I'm out. So
Huh. I had the impression it was more for kids, so that's interesting.
I mean, that's definitely the main goal, but I do date nights. I have a whole guide on if you stay at home date night type of things, but I also try to correspond them with the businesses around town that are doing parents' night out. So if you only have an hour and a half, or if you're going to stay home, I have date night ideas for the romantic people. I have fun date night ideas. I have all sorts of things like that for parents that, just I even have like half day trips for around Colorado that you can either take your kids or not take your kids. It doesn't matter. But yeah, it's more than just kids, but I would say that is the primary focus is parenting and kids up through probably 18.
Right. And you've got a lot going on your website, and that's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and I'm hoping at some point to start branching into the theory is hopefully within a year once I have Colorado Springs down, I've got the website down, and I've got everything is then we're going to start incorporating like Douglas County and Denver and Colorado, and then I have a couple people in other states that already want to run a Buzzy Bee, so we
You get a
might
friend, think about franchising it out?
maybe
Oh, good
maybe
for you.
yeah. So it'll be a while, but
Right.
we just we're announcing that we're doing an app called Be Rewarded, and that's going to be part of the Buzzy Bee as well. And that's going to go live on the 15th, and we're going to debut it at my event on the 12th. So that's something for businesses and for consumers. Well, it's an app for everybody basically. So that's been on the back burner too, and that's a been a work in progress as well. So yeah, I'm definitely staying busy. That's for sure.
That's why it's the busy bee. It should be the
Right?
busy J.
Yeah, yeah, really.
How do you find the time?
Um, I don't sleep a whole lot. I stay up. But the fun thing, I guess, is I really enjoy what I do. So it's not one of those, I mean, where you get up and you're like, oh, I have to go to work today. I don't have that, which is the first time ever that I've ever had that.
Okay.
I get up and I think, okay, what am I going to write today? Or what am I going to, what kind of guide am I going to try and make? Or what kind of article do I want to write? Or, doing events. I try to do, but now that it's starting to pick back up, I try to do at least one a month, but that doesn't ever work. April is the only one that I'm doing. No, that's not even true. I'm doing 3 in April. So no, that's not even true. Well,
Scratch
I got,
that.
yeah, never mind. But I do a lot from my laptop in bed. Let's just I do a lot from there, and
I'm highly sleep deprived as well. If I can get 4 hours uh, at one time, I'm happy. But
right.
normally I'm writing the town tidings and I'm falling asleep at my laptop with my hands on the keyboard. And my husband's just like, "You were out." And I was just like, "I've been here the whole time,
Yeah,
just blackouts."
nobody ever thinks, oh, you're an entrepreneur. Oh, that's nice. You can work the hours that you want. It's like, no, I quit my 9 to 5 to work 24/7. It's,
Right, right.
needless to say.
tell me what kind of events, I know you have the big one in April, and then so when you do the monthly events, what does that look like in general, just a general overview?
Those are usually just ones that I attend or that I help um, generate, I guess. One that's coming up, aside from my big one, the Texas Roadhouse is just doing a small villains and heroes night for kids night. So like I'm bringing Batman and Deadpool and Buzzy's going to be there. In fact, we're running a contest on whether Buzzy, the mascot, is going to be a hero or a villain. We won't find out until that night. So and then like Bubba's is doing a hopper trunk or it's like a trunk or treat, but it's hop. So we're
Right,
passing
for
out eggs
Easter.
and stuff like that. Yeah. So just little events like that that I'll either help them get it up and running and get them the vendors that they need, or um, I don't do the only one that I officially put on is my big one a year. So,
Okay.
but there are other people like Brush Crazy. They always want me to do like one event at their. So there's always like little pop-ups that we're doing, and there's probably going to be now that we're launching this app. I'm probably going to start doing for a year, but they won't be nearly as big as my yearly event. They'll be smaller scaled by a lot.
So what is your big event happens in April? Tell me a
Mhm.
little bit about that.
This is the third annual Find Your Family Fun, basically. It's called Beyond Family Fun event, and right now we're at I think 140 vendors.
Wow.
Um, we are pairing up with the Just Between Friends sale. So she's going to be on the bottom half doing her consignment sale, and I'm on the top half. And we've got some great sponsors. Pete Kia is bringing a couple cars. And we've got, bounce houses. We've got a DJ. We've got face painting. We have Quantum Fiber is one of our other sponsors. Children's Hospital is another sponsor. So we've got
Wow.
some big sponsors, and we've got some food trucks, and we've got games. We're going to run some contests. I bought little medals for the kids if we have like a little egg contest, and we have probably 20 different characters. So like we've got Batman and we've got Deadpool and we've got all those, but then we also have Bluey. The Easter Bunny's going to be there for pictures. We have like a photos 360 booth, so it's going to be fun. I mean, there's a lot going on, but there's a lot of things. The reason why I do this event is like I have a lot of nonprofits, and I had a lot of companies that maybe are on the harder side to ask questions, like if your child is on the spectrum, or if you need rent assistance, or if you need housing assistance. I have all of those there that you can ask the questions that need to be asked without, I don't know, being under pressure or not wanting to make that phone call. You just happen to be walking by the booth and think, oh, maybe I should get that information. But every booth has to be interactive for the kids. So, and I do bingo cards, which is different. I have every vendor has a spot on a bingo card. So
Mhm.
the kids are going around, getting their stamps, and then they come to my booth at the end, and I have a spin wheel, ton of prizes. So, I mean, I don't care if they have a bingo or not. It's just for the
Right.
kids. But it gives the parents an opportunity to maybe ask some harder questions that they don't want. Like I mean, we have the Lotus Foundation that's going to be there. I mean, they're for sex trafficking. I have a couple different I don't want to say scarier type, but realistic type vendors that are there that are there to get the word out. And their missions are important. And if people have questions, the kids have something to do and play, and they can either get their information packets or they can ask the questions or whatever. But the kids are having fun no matter what, and that's kind of what it comes down to. So it's just bringing the whole community and the whole family together and in a fun atmosphere, but maybe they walk away with some tools that they might need in the future.
Right, that they wouldn't have necessarily sought out or had the courage to reach out for.
Right.
And tell me where this is being held and when.
Oh, April 12th, it's going to be at the Colorado Springs Event Center. We are on the top half and JBF is on the bottom half, so you can shop for all your consignment clothes and get, the kids some new outfits, and then you can come upstairs and just have a whole play day upstairs. So it's
I
gonna,
didn't
I'm,
realize I didn't realize it was 2 stories. So
well, it's not.
where? Oh,
It's just big. It used to be, I think, like a
oh,
Walgreens or
okay, gotcha.
something, and it used to be like two grocery stores.
Okay, gotcha.
So, but there's giant garage doors to
Uh-huh.
open between the two. So we'll have those open so that people can go in between both events.
Okay. So top half and bottom half is front section and back section.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I'm on the same page now. Okay, so then the vendors, are they in both places?
No. She has, I think, one or two maybe on her side, but her side is all about the shopping.
Okay.
My side is just vendors. We do have 3 or 4 food trucks that will be outside, between the both. But I mean, you can shop on my side too. There's, different vendors there that I'll be, selling whatever they're going to be selling. But hers is all, clothes and strollers and play gyms and beds and car seats, all of that stuff. So
Okay, good. And so that's the big one. That's on April 12th.
mhm.
And then what, all right, my question is, are you going to be Mrs. Deadpool?
No, no, no. I do a lot more, I would say, with that man than I do with Ted Pool, but because he originates out of Littleton, so we don't see him as often. But
Okay.
Batman will be there with his car and his motorcycle, so
Well,
that'll
you've
be.
got the look for Mrs. Deadpool. That's why I was wondering if you
Oh
just put
yeah,
on the
no.
costume.
Oh no, no. I could not move around in that outfit if I tried. I like the swords though. I would like those, but yeah.
Right. What I like is when I asked you, you turned beet red.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure if he watches this, Deadpool watches this, he'll have a kick out of that one. I'm pretty sure they're not going to let me live that one down now.
Well, hey, I'm here to bring the fun too, you know.
Appreciate that.
Oh, great. So, I mean, it really looks like this is amazing resource for the community, especially if you have kids and mostly when you have kids, but then you have other stuff. Like I said, you've got so much going on your website. You've got so much going on in the Buzzy Bee that I just want to make sure that we get out what you think is most important and, what else you want them to know, the public to know, my subscribers to know.
It's not just Colorado Springs, I guess. The calendar is amazing. I have 5 to 50 events every single day,
I know
and
I
that is
saw
Colorado
it.
Springs. It is, the local area. But some of the guides, some of the articles, the crafts, the recipes, that doesn't have to be local. That can be anywhere. I mean, I know that my cousin uses it all the time for the recipes and making slime and making Play-Doh and things like that. So, the calendar is hyper local, obviously, but the information doesn't necessarily have to be. It can equate to anybody,
Right.
until I get more sites.
So what is your plan for the future if you, I mean, you're a big dreamer and a doer, big doer. So in general, what is your plan for the Buzzy Bee for the future?
I would say if I can get the business plan to be effective for everyone, let's say other companies that I've worked for in the past over 7 years or over, yeah, I would say over the 7 years of the two companies, I made less than $6,000. I do not want that to be how the Buzzy Bee is run and operated. It's going to be about the editors. It's going to be about the community. It's going to be about the small businesses. It's for everyone, but I want to make sure that everyone benefits too, that it's not just about the owner or it's not just about the name. So the business plan is in the works, but the structure and building it out and training and all of that stuff. But hopefully within, you know, I could say we're using Colorado Springs as a test market to see how it goes, but it's obviously going very, very well. It's being very well received. And it's something that's needed everywhere. I mean, everybody has kids or knows kids. So
Right.
um, whether they want to take their Buzzy Bee to the level that I do, that's not going to be a requirement, obviously. So,
Oh,
um, but there will be, stipulations, and hopefully within 5 years, hopefully we will be a, household name, not just a Colorado Springs name. So that's
and national. You're at least,
hopefully, yes,
yeah. So how you need to replicate you.
yes,
Did,
yep.
I don't know. Have you created that machine yet?
No, no, no. I keep failing, and yeah, she's kind of sassy. So yeah, we gotta keep going back to the drawing board. So
We gotta send her back and bake her a little more.
right, yeah, a little more friendly and a little less sassy. So, but yeah, so we'll see where it goes. I mean, it's fun to dream, and it's fun to think about these things and life, and other things happen. So we'll see. But if in a perfect world things could go exactly as I had planned, and then that'll be the direction that we're headed, which I would have never thought I would have been in up
Yeah.
until 8 months ago, because Fuzzy Bee will be a year in June.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, end of June it'll be 1 year. So
But you've done the event in April. This is the third year, right?
right. Well, it was called Find Your Family Fun because it was when I was with Macaroni Kid.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So instead of Find Your Family Fun, this year it's called Beyond Family Fun because that's their trademark. So so I have a lot of the same repeating vendors that are coming back every year, which is nice. And I've got a lot of new ones. So the family is getting bigger. And I mean, I think last year I want to say I had uh, 80 or 90 or maybe 100 vendors. And this year we're at 140. And I'm going to close it here in about 5 days just so I can go to print and get everything ready, for the event. So this will be the
How
biggest
about
one so far.
good? How about attendees? How many do you count them at all, or do they just come in and out?
Yeah, we try to count, and as far as like tickets that have been purchased on like Eventbrite and people on Facebook that they are coming and things like that, and with the advertising and things like that, we are anticipating, and I know this is so vague, but between 5 and 10,000 people.
Okay. So
So
is it a free event or is it
yep.
ticketed?
Nope,
Okay.
my events will always be free because again, it's about the community, and there's resources in there that I think people need, and I don't want them to have to pay to get those resources. So
I hear
or
you.
yeah.
I'm the same way. It's just like, how can I help and how can I contribute to the community and all that. So it's just like, that's where my heart is too. Of course, we
Yep.
got to pay the mortgage, but
Not this way.
I hear
Events
you.
is not the way to do it. I'm slowly learning, but yeah, but it's not about me. It's about the families and the community. So
Yeah, I think we're kind of on the same page in general on, that kind of thing. So, is there anything that we missed or that you want somebody to know that we may not have covered about either about you or the Buzzy Bee?
the Buzzy Bee, I would say Wednesday nights is my newsletter night. In fact, as soon as I get off with you, I have to go work on that because the newsletter it's free and it goes out every Wednesday night at 7. If anybody wants to sign up for it, I highlight, usually the week events and, my new contests, and there's stuff for the kids to do. There's games, there's printables on there. There's also, I highlight like 2 or 3 guides that I've built or 2 or 3 events that I've built, and just the new stuff that's going on every week. I send that. I don't always do it, but I try to find all um, the free events. So one week there'll be 85 free events. The next week there'll be 35 free events, but I don't always get to that one because that one's really time consuming. But if I can get to it, that's always a highlight. But
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the newsletter is Wednesday nights at 7 and it's free. And I'd love to have everybody join it and learn from it. And, there's always a comment section. I always love to get feedback. If anybody wants to see a guide of some sort, I'm always
Right.
looking for ideas because I'm always happy. I mean, like I'm a one-man show. So if you email or you text or you call, you're getting me no matter what. So if there's an idea out there that you want to see a guide on or you want an article on, let me know. I'm happy to, always looking for new stuff.
Yeah. I hear you. I send mine out daily, but
I know yours is awesome.
it's just short enough that, gives them kind of the highlights of, what's going on in general. And it's, in the know on the go. I don't want them to have to read a whole big thing, but that is daily. And I'm up, in all hours of the night trying to finish it stuff. So
Yeah, there's no way. There's
you
no
were
way I
kind
could
of
do
smart doing it once a week.
it. Shoot, I'm thinking about doing it twice a month, but yeah, because it's a lot.
I
It is a lot.
know.
But I do have, and I don't know like what the retention rate is, like the open rate and stuff. I had said something to somebody about I feel horrible, like I don't have the best information or something because I'm only getting like 63% opens, and everybody was like, "What?" And they were like, "No, if you can get like 13%
I know.
opens, that's huge." And I was like, "Seriously?" I was like, "Well,
Yep.
why are you signing up if you're not going to read it?" But so my retention rate, I guess in theory, is great, but I was like, "Okay, where are you 40%? Why aren't you reading it? There's good stuff in there." I'm like, "I worked really hard. There's some amazing stuff in there, so go read it."
I hear you. And it's funny, being in the digital marketing space since 2006, and, for my own agency, I know that, 10, 13, if you're getting like 15% in the digital world, you're doing good. And like you and I know now, I can get anywhere between, it depends on, mine is daily. So,
Right.
and people can go, and if they contact me and say they only want it 2 or 3 times a week, I'll put them on the list for that. So they don't need to have it daily, but I get anywhere between like a 56 and a 71% open rate. So
Oh
it just
wow, so you're doing
depends.
amazing too. Yeah.
Yeah. So it just depends on it. And it's just like, yeah, but that's because we're giving people what they want. And I'm just like you. It's like, this is your newsletter. You tell
Right.
me what. But
Right.
all that work just trying to find events, trying to, figure out the articles and write them, trying to give them something, for me each day that is interesting enough for them to open. It is a lot of work. And I'm like you. I'm the chef, the chief bottle washer, the mechanic, I mean, I'm everything. So, yeah, it's kind of tiring.
Yeah, it does add up a lot, and it is crazy what we do, but I'm still not burned out. Like I know it's a purpose, and I know that what I'm putting out there people need,
Right.
um, whether they know it yet or not.
Right.
Like it's in your email, just go look at it. I promise there's good stuff in there. So, and
Right.
so it's just building it up and letting people know that, I'm no longer with that other company. I'm over here now and, getting the rebranding back out there. And, it's been, I mean, it's been a lot. It's been a journey, and I am excited. I still get up every day excited. Like, what am I going to do today? And it's great. I mean, it was the best thing I could have done. And
Right.
I mean, I cried for like 3 days after, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do now. Like, this was my life purpose. And then everyone's like, I don't understand why you're not doing it yourself. And I was like, I can't do it by myself. And they're like, you can do it by yourself. But the thing is I'm not by myself. I have
Right.
a great, um, I don't know what to, other vendors, other businesswomen, my tribe, friends, people I've worked with, the community, everybody was backing me, and I didn't know it until someone told me, one of the businesses out there, they're like, they follow you, not the name.
Right.
They're like, so if you go, they're gonna go. They're like, they like what you do, not the name behind it.
Right.
So, and I was like, okay, I'll try it, and so here we are 7 months later, and we're just rocking and rolling now. So
Yep.
it's
They follow
it's
you, but they have to know who you are.
true. That's true. So and I want to build up what I had, because I'm competing with myself, which is
Right.
weird, you know.
Right.
So, but yeah, I want to get my numbers back where I was, and I'm not the most patient person, so it's like, when I like you and I heard I'm only having like, one newsletter only got to 48% of the people, and I'm
I
like,
know.
why? What did I do wrong? And you take it so personal because it's like you're literally
Absolutely.
putting your blood, sweat, and tears. Like I was up till 3 in the morning doing that. Why didn't more people open it? So
Exactly.
yeah, it's
And every unsubscribe just like pulls at our
yes.
hearts. It's
I
just
know
like,
you want to call
what
them and be
did
like,
I
what did I
do?
do?
Yeah.
Exactly.
What can I do better? I mean, that it's like it's okay, and we're not everybody's cup of tea, and that's fine. But it's like if there's something that you just didn't like, for me, it could be the frequency. And I
Right,
have in there, just let me know, and I'll put you on only two
right,
or three times, depending on, if I have a special events Friday, but usually it's, two. Um, and then it's just like, okay, I want to do better. I mean, that's what we're givers, so we want to
right,
do better. And it's just like, okay, give us the information. Like I have on my newsletter how did we do you love it, meh, and not my fave. And if people do meh or not my fave, of course that's where I focus more, not the love it,
right.
just because I'm like, oh, what did I do wrong? But when they don't comment, it's like I
It's hard
can't
not to
do
take it
anything.
personal.
But I can't do anything about it because I don't
Right,
know why you chose that. As soon as you do, and I'm sure you do the same thing. If you give us feedback, we are taking that into consideration. If we can do anything about it,
right,
we absolutely would.
right.
So
And
just
it's
give
like
us feedback.
right, you don't congratulate yourself that you got 200 new subscribers. You got
Right.
4 unsubscribes, and you're like, why? It's like
Exactly.
let me call them at home and ask them, like, what did I do? Like fix it, It's like,
Exactly.
no, yay me, I got 300 new subscribers. No, I lost four, Yeah, it's hard not to take it personal. It definitely is.
I know. You and I just we'll have to text each other and go, you know what? You're awesome. Just to
Right? You're
remind
doing great
ourselves.
today.
Exactly.
You got out of
So,
bed. That's a start.
right. Okay. So then tell us how we can find you.
Oh, well, I just started on LinkedIn under the Buzzy Bee, not me. I'm on Facebook, the Buzzy Bee. I think it's underscore COS, but I'm sure if you just type in the Buzzy Bee on Facebook, it comes up, and it's B, just the letter, not BEE. Same thing on Instagram, and my website is thebuzzyb.com. So
Okay. And
yeah,
so is there an email address that you want to give them?
info at Buzzy Bee, Jenn at Buzzy Bee, marketing at Buzzy Bee, pick one for me.
Now you just gave them too many options.
Right, I know. Just pick something at Buzzy Bee and it will come to me.
Let's do info at buzzybee.com,
Info at Buzzy Bee is perfect. Yes.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Well, it was such a pleasure to, talk with you today, and I am excited to write the article and, get you out to my subscribers.
Well, I appreciate that. And I'm so glad that, we finally got to meet sort of face to face finally after all the texts and emails that we've been exchanging for a couple months now. And I'm watching your journey, I think, just as much as you're watching mine because we're kind of rooting for each other. And I appreciate you having me on. And obviously, I will be mentioning, obviously, that I'm on here today too to mine, and it'll be in my newsletter as well. That goes out later today.